Have you ever finished a book in a day and a half, and when someone asked what it was about, you didn't summarize, you gave a 40-minute reconstruction? Not because stopping felt wrong, but because leaving something out would feel untrue. That's not enthusiasm, that's a different kind of mind. And what you've probably heard about your mind, that it's a gift, that you're lucky, that you should be grateful, is incomplete. Not wrong, just missing the cost. Here's what nobody mentions. High intelligence doesn't just make you think faster, it changes what it feels like to be conscious. By the end of this, you'll understand something very specific: why your mind exhausts itself in ways other people's don't, and why the thing you've quietly resented about yourself is also the engine behind the things you value most. Stay with us. The last part shifts everything before it. 1. Your brain doesn't really idle. Even when you're doing nothing, it doesn't feel like nothing. It feels like a constant hum in the background. Thoughts replaying, scenarios branching, connections forming without asking permission. For most people, rest is silence. For you, it's lower volume, not silence. That's why you can feel tired even when you haven't done anything visible. You're not overthinking, you're running processes that don't fully shut off. 2. You see outcomes before others do. Someone starts explaining something, and halfway through, you already see multiple ways it could go wrong. Best case, worst case, failure points. Subtly, you manage your face. You slow your reactions. You pretend you're discovering what you already know. That's not arrogance, it's processing speed colliding with social timing, and they rarely match. 3. Shallow conversations drain you. You may have blamed yourself, thought maybe you're being judgmental or distant or snobby. It's not about the person, it's about stimulation. If your mind craves depth, patterns, and complexity, surface-level conversation doesn't feel neutral, it feels empty, like your mind is starving. 4. You don't let things go easily, not emotionally, not cognitively. Someone says something that lingers and it won't let go, not because you want it to, but because your mind doesn't close loops until they resolve. You carry unfinished questions longer than most people even notice, and that tendency, it's architectural, not optional. 5. You catch your own contradictions first. You replay what you said, refine it, question it, not because you enjoy doubt, but because your mind is wired for accuracy. At a certain point, this stops being a trait, it becomes a standard you live inside. 6. You hold too much at the same time. The past conversation, the current one, possible futures, unresolved problems, all while trying to stay present. From the outside, you seem fine. Internally, the load is constant, mostly invisible. 7. You can feel alone even in a room full of people. Not because no one is around, but because the conversation stays on the surface, and your mind goes deeper. You notice the layer underneath the layer. What you actually want isn't attention, it's depth without having to simplify or explain it. Someone who follows you into the third and fourth level of an idea without confusion, without judgment, without competition. When you find that, it feels physical, it feels like oxygen. 8. You change your mind more than most people. Others may call you inconsistent, but for you, it's not indecision, it's accuracy in motion. The more you understand, the more you see what needs to be updated. Instead of clinging to being right, you prioritize getting it right. 9. You've always felt too much. Too aware, too intense, too mentally active. Like your mind moves faster than the world around you. So you learn to adjust, tone it down, simplify, hold back. But here's the truth most people never hear. The same mechanism that makes you feel too much is the exact thing that gives you depth, your clarity, your insight, your ability to see what others miss. 10. Recognition is not the point. The moment you finally feel seen for this mind, don't mistake it for specialness. This isn't about being exceptional, it's about being honest with yourself. Every counter-argument you encounter, every internal contradiction you notice, your mind runs on it. Not stubbornness, not ego, but architecture. And if you can turn this awareness into action, you become harder to fool, especially yourself. For the first time, life feels easier. Not because the world changed, because you did.